Welcome to my presentation on how to use makeup in multiple ways to downsize your kit. Thank you so much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure to speak to you all today. By the end of this presentation, you should have a better understanding about sanitation processes and how to downsize your kit to protect your products from cross-contamination. My name is Michelle Dube. I am a full-time professional makeup artist working in print and TV advertising and also fashion, red carpet and some beauty work. Sanitation for your kit has always been important, but never more so than now in these days of COVID-19. Recently, I have seen a makeup artist apply makeup to 3 wedding party guests using the same brushes, double dipping into foundation and creams, not using a palette or a spatula, and this is unacceptable. If you are not working sanitary, now is the time to change this. And for those booking makeup artists, this is what they will be looking for. You should be a makeup artist that makes the client your priority. You are being paid for the service and your client deserves to be treated with respect. You can still offer a luxury and a high-end experience without compromising the health of your client. As makeup artists, we are already spending a lot of money on our kits, and now we are spending a lot more money on products such as face masks, face shields, more disposables, and airtight containers. Using products that have multiple uses will help save you money, help save cross-contamination in your kit, and allow you to travel lighter. So I'm going to show you a glowing natural makeup that will be suitable for bridal or red carpet using minimal products. So first, I'm going to introduce my model, Grace. Woo! So this is my model, Grace. She is my daughter. So for that reason, I don't have to be wearing a mask because she lives with me. All right, we're gonna get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do is apply her foundation. And I'm going to be using a palette that slips over your hand like this. And we're going to be depotting all our product on that now. I need to move this up though. Yeah, because beautiful.
Looks a little.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to use is a spatula, and we're going to decant some of this product. Now Grace has got absolutely beautiful skin, and I don't need to apply a heavy cover for her. So what I'm going to do, because I only carry one foundation in my kit now, is I'm going to make this cream foundation, which is a wax-based foundation, into a liquid by adding a face oil. So I just need to add a few drops of face oil on there, and I can get my foundation brush. And by mixing the two together, I'm going to create a liquid, which is then going to go straight over her face. Now, if I needed to add more coverage, I just wouldn't add the face oil. So this way, I've got a foundation that I can use in multiple ways, so I'm not carrying a lot of different formulas. And you can see this foundation with that added oil in there is a beautiful liquidy foundation that's still giving her a lot of coverage. But we like to see skin through, so. Okay, so you can see that foundation now is beautiful and glowy. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some concealer. And I'm using a fluffy brush for this. And again, I'm going to depot the concealer onto using my spatula onto my palette, my hand palette. And then we're closing that and we're putting that away. We don't need that sitting open and being contaminated. The whole idea is that we're going to be keeping everything closed and safe. So I then just pick up that foundation, that concealer with my fluffy brush, and I'm just going to pop that underneath the eye and blend it in with my foundation. And then I'm also going to use this foundation, this concealer to prime her eyes. So just close for me. So you can see that Grace has got a lot of colour in her eye, and I just want to take that out with the concealer. But obviously I'm not going to use a lot because we don't want our eyeshadows to crease. But I'm just going to pop that on there. So you can see how I'm just lightly using a fluffy brush just to get that colour on there. Just to take that colour out. All right. The next step we're going to do is her eyes, and I'm going to show you how I'm using one eyeshadow to create multiple uses. I'm just going to take that off. So I'm going to take out the powders that I want to use on Grace, and I'm going to pop them into an empty palette. And that way my big palette, which is this one here, isn't being contaminated by being out. We're just going to simply choose the colours we want, and we're going to pop them in here. So I'm literally just popping out the colours that I want to use and creating my own individual palette just for Grace. Okay, so these are the colours I want to use for Grace, and I now have them in a nice little clean palette, and I can then take this palette, close it up and pop it back away because I won't be needing it. So it's not sitting out on our desks. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take some of the colour that I'm going to use, and I'm going to decant it by using a spatula, or you can also use an eyelash spoolie, and I'm just going to scrape some of that product and pop it on the back of my palette. Now I know that a lot of people hate doing this because it means we're wasting product, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to use all of this product, and we're not going to waste any. So I'm going to pick up this and I'm going to add it to Grace's eyes. Just in the corners. Okay, and so I've still got some on my palette, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my brush that I used for her foundation. I'm going to mix that in, and I'm going to also use that now as her highlight. So we're not wasting any of that product. We've now got an eyeshadow and a highlighter at the same time. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape off some of the mid-tone shade. Again, using my spatula. And I'm going to pop that on there. And we're going to close this one up. And again, I'm going to use a brush and put that brown colour on her eyes as I would normally if I was going to do her makeup. So this is just going to go all on the lid up to the socket. And I've left that in a corner there just so we're getting that nice little glow in there. Now what I'm going to do is I've got some product left on there on my palette and I don't want to waste it. So I'm now going to use that on her brows. And I'm going to use a little flat brush like this, and I'm going to pick that colour up and I'm now going to use it through her brows. So I'm just going to shape her brow with that brown and brush through any gaps in her brow and create a nice brow. So now we've used an eyeshadow as a brow powder. Okay, so I'm now just going to finish, just close for me. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our dark tone, and again I'm going to scrape off a little bit of that into my palette. Now you can also use this dark tone through the brow as well, it's just a matter of your personal preference. And I'm going to go in there and do her crease. And so I've still got some of that colour left on here, so what I'm actually going to do, because I don't want to waste it, I'm actually going to mix that in with my foundation brush and turn that into a bit of a cream. You can see that's a bit of a cream on that palette there. And I'm actually going to use this now to contour. So you can see how beautifully mixed in with your foundation, that now creates a beautiful contour. And then we can use that to contour the forehead. And give a more defined brow. Brow, no. Neckline. Okay, blending all that. So you can see, just turn for me. So we've used that contour shade, which is in our contour of our socket line, but we've now used it as a contour. So I've literally only used this one little palette here to create that. And now I'm going to go in with my black. So again, I'm going to scrape a little bit off into my palette. And then I'm going to get my small brush. And I'm going to pop that just in the corner here, just to give that a little bit of depth. And on the other side. Now you'll notice I actually haven't set my foundation with any powder or anything, and that's because I want the option to be able to go in and clean up anything, any fallout, and just check it, and then I'll set it. Okay, so I've added in the black there. See what I mean? When the powder, when it's not set, I can then just go in and clean up where I need to. Okay, what I'm going to do now is Grace needs a liner. So again, I'm going to get the leftover product. I'm actually just going to, and using a small brush, I'm going to pop on, so I'm just going to use my brush here. I'm going to pop on my setting spray and just dampen that brush off. Then I'm going to dip that into my black that's on my palette, and I'm creating a black liquid. So these powders that I'm using can be used wet or dry, and using the setting powder means that this is going to last and it's going to stay on the eye. So I've now wet that, I've dipped it in, I've created, as you can see there, a liquid, close for me, and then I'm just going to line the base of the lash. And because I've combined it with the setting spray, that is going to last her for the duration of the party, the event, the Christmas party, oh, please, the red carpet. So now I've created that, a liquid, using a powder, which was just this one here. All right, lashes. I'm going to go in with mascara, and I'm just going to use a fan brush. I'm not going to put false lashes on today because that's not what this is about. This is about using products in multiple ways. So with my mascara and my fan brush, I'm just going to give her a coat of lashes. Now, going right into the base there, I'm almost using that mascara to create another eyeliner. Just making sure that that eyeliner is meeting right at the base of the lashes. How lucky am I to have a beautiful daughter that I can do this on. Okay, now I want to show you another product that's amazing for dual use, and that is a tinted balm. So for the tinted balms, we can literally, and I'll just wipe this off. Now with the tinted balm, we can add moisturiser to the lip, but we're also going to use it as a colour on the cheek. So I'm going to use this one that's a little bit of a red colour. And I'm just taking a little bit of that and I'm putting it on the back of my palette. And I'm going to use a brush to pop that on her lip. So it's a really beautiful moisturising lip balm. So rub. And then I'm also going to use that same product and I'm going to pop it on her cheeks. And you'll see that that will actually give her some beautiful colour. And because my foundation hasn't been set yet, it gives me the chance to really blend that product in there. So now we've got a product that we can use lips and cheeks. And you can see that that beautiful glow that's creating. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually use a powder and scrape off some of the powder. And then I can mix it with my balm to create a more pigmented colour. If I wanted to give her more of a blush look. So I'm going to mix that colour now in with the balm to create a cream. And I'm then just able to, I said more pigmented. Now if Grace feels like this is too much colour for her, which I feel like she is, but you know, we have to remember it's got to survive the, you know, lights and, well, summer. So I do like a bit of colour on there. So now I've added pigment to the tinted balm. I've given her a lip colour, but I've also given her some cheek colour. Now, I can just tone that down because, like I said, everything's nice and dewy. I can now tone that down if I need to, if Grace feels like it's too much colour for her. And we've toned that down just by popping on a bit of the foundation over the top. Okay, next thing I'm going to apply is a lip liner. Now, I've put the balm on so her lips are nice and moisturised now, and I'm going to go in with a lip liner. This one here that I've got has a self-sharpening sharpener in it, so I know that it's always going to be nice and hygienic. So I'm just going to go in there and line her lips. Now I'm actually going to use this product to give her a full lip colour, so I'm going to line her whole entire lip with this colour. Alright, and then over the top of that, we can either go in with our gloss, our balm, our lip colour. I'm just going to go in with a really nice gloss this time. I'm just going to use a nice nude. Again, never going in with the wand, we're going in with on our palette. We're putting the lid back on that and we're sticking that away. I'm going in with my lip brush and I'm just going to go over the top of this. With the nude. Now we're going to set it. So what I want to do is I want to get a bridge super fine powder, and I've got this powder here which is extremely finely milled. I'm going to go over the top, but I don't want to powder everywhere. I just want to set a few areas, being the forehead and the nose. I want to set underneath her eyes where I've done her concealer. And a chin, because no one likes an oily chin. Okay, so now I've popped on quite a bit of powder on there to set that, so she's nice and matte, but I'm also just lightly going to go over the rest of the face with what's left on my brush. Now this is actually my personal one, so I have double dipped in there, but normally you would scrape that out. I forgot to do that. And you can see that Grace now is matte. What I want to do is finishing her off with a setting spray. The same setting spray that I used to turn the powder into a liquid, I'm now going to do on her face. And I'm just going to spray, so just close for me. Okay, that's just going to bring life back into her face and set her makeup for up to 16 hours now, so she's nice and set. But if I'm looking at that and I think, oh, I feel like I need to add some more dewiness in there, I can then go in there with the face oil that I used originally and just add a little bit of a drop of face oil to my back of my palette. And I want to just use that face oil just on the top of the cheek there. And you can see how that's bringing back some life. So if I've overpowdered her and I'm feeling like I've now lost my glowy and my dewiness, I'm just getting that face oil and popping that on her cheeks there, and you can see how that's brought back some life into her face there. Beautiful. All right, so there we have it. We've got a nice, natural, dewy, glowy face using minimal products. We've used powders, we've turned them into liquids. We've used cream, full coverage foundation, so we've turned them into a beautiful sheer coverage. We've used balms for face, for lips, for cheeks, and we've added pigment to them and made cream blushes with powders. So we're using products, we've used powder through the brow to create a really beautiful brow, the same color that we've used on eyes. So we've used we've used minimal products in multiple ways. Okay. So by using products in multiple ways, you're actually decreasing the chance of contaminating your other products. So as you can see, I just added in that little four-wheel palette there. I've put all my product that I needed for Grace in there, and then I can close that up, and that's all I'm using. All my other products are now back in my kit. I don't need them. So by decreasing the use of contaminating your products, you're also saving money because you're not needing to replace, and you're not needing as many products. And because we've now got additional equipment to carry for sanitizing, we're also needing to travel lighter. So by using multiple use products, we can travel lighter. It also makes our setting up and packing much easier to keep clean. So thank you for joining me today. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm on Facebook as Michelle Dube. I'm on Instagram as Michelle Dube_MUA. If you have any questions about what I've done today, any questions about the products or how to use multi-use products, please reach out to me. I love to chat. So thank you everyone. Enjoy the Beauty Expo, and I'll see you next year at the next one. Bye.